Hi, thank you for watching this video. I'm glad that you're doing that. And I know it is a prerequisite to having it watched before you have your session. But the reason I want you to watch it is because I want you to be ready for it. I want you to know that what's coming, how you are expected to be, your expectations, your what is everything, so that you know and that you can just relax and create the best outcome with me that you can. So let me just start with what is your expectation of hypnosis. Now, I don't know if you've been hypnotized before or if this is your first time, but I want to just talk about what expectations are. First of all, the expectation is that hypnosis is something not easy to do. So I like to tell you that you're in hypnosis most of the time. There's all kinds of times you're in hypnosis and it's just like breathing. It's a natural state. The only thing differently that we do is we formalize it by putting you in that state and keeping you in that state for a certain amount of time while we do the work. And I work in what you call deep state hypnosis. So we take you as deep as you allow yourself to go. That's it. And then we go what we call higher mind. We access your higher mind or the superconscious, and those are just code words. Superconscious, everybody wants to know what it is. What it is that part of you that knows everything or can find out everything. And of course, it just allows you to have the best outcome possible. Everything, it's always benefit to you because it's part of your mind. It's making sure that you always get what you want or desire in the best way possible for you. So it has nothing to do with me. I'm not using any judgment. I'm guiding you where you need to go to allow the work to happen. So it's very simple, but it's also quite intriguing because you start to get information from that higher part of your mind. Some people get a lot, some people a little. Whatever it is, it's appropriate for you. Because sometimes we only need to know what we need to know. Now, of course, I want you to be very clear on this, that your conscious mind does not go into a stupor, doesn't go into a coma, doesn't go outside of you. It is always present. And because this is not a meditative state, we are not going into a place of being in Om. We're doing work. And because we're working, that conscious part of you will want to watch and observe, and it'll chatter at you and say, oh my God, what the heck was that? Well, what's that doing? And now how's that going? And you just let it chatter. It won't hurt a thing. It's an ideal place for that chatter to happen because it's staying observing. Your conscious mind is going to observe the things that you change. And it'll be an interesting experience. It's something you don't need to be afraid of because the conscious is watching. And if it chose to, it could just end the trance. It's always your choice. Your choice is always there. Let myself go in deep. Okay, I'll do that. My choice is I'll go to that high place and just let it happen. That'd be great. And then you just let go as much as possible. You're open to the possibility of all the changes. Now, will you understand everything I say? Probably not. But your conscious mind doesn't need to understand because that part of you that knows everything understands everything. Even if I don't understand it, it does. And that's what we're working with, that part of you that knows everything, that part of you that is always present and will always do the best for you. So I just want to compound this a little bit, that when your mind is chattering, you are not hurting a thing. It's the way it is supposed to be. This is a brand new experience, and you're going to be watching, and it's good. In fact, you're not breaking a spell. Even if you moved your legs, let's say your hand was getting tired or anything like that, you would move it. Or you might choose not to because you feel good where you are, and that's okay. But either one, it's always a choice, and it's your choice. And when you are allowing yourself to go into a deep state of hypnosis, you can access that part of you, that whole part of you that cares about you, and that part of you that always is going to keep you safe. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the process. First, I'm going to ask you I'm going to make a little contract with you that you agree to allow yourself to go into hypnosis and your mind will take you there. So what does that do? That just gives me permission to put you in hypnosis. So we make the little contract. And after that, you allow yourself to go into hypnosis. I take you as deep as you can go that day. And then we set up what we call idiomotor responses, which means a yes and no on your fingers. Now, you can consciously figure out which one you want to use or not. It makes no difference. But what we do is, as you allow yourself to go into a nice deep state of hypnosis, those fingers will actually start to respond on their own. It's just like when you're driving a car, let's say you learn on a stick shift, and suddenly you have to think about it each and every time. I'm going to move that this way or that way. And all of a sudden your subconscious says, I can do that for you. And you start to do it naturally. And that's what will happen in the process. So I always say to people, you don't have to think about it. You can think about it at the beginning because it's our natural state. And we will definitely move it with our yes and no ourselves. But eventually the inner mind will just take over for you. And you'll think, well, did I move that? Or did my subconscious move that? Well, how come that moved? And well, how come it says yes and I thought it was no in my head? Well, all those things will happen to you while you're in trance and while you're in the process. Because your mind, your conscious mind is only a small part of you. The rest of you will know those answers. And sometimes they're not exactly what you know. So I know there's other times that I remember when I was very new at the game of hypnosis, that I would say, I'm not moving that finger till I subconscious moves it. You know what? You're a whole being. So you can sense, know, or feel when the yes or no comes in some ways. And even then, let's say you just feel your fingers start to move or have energy or whatever that little sensing is, you can lift it yourself. You're all one being. But eventually, as you get along, it'll become easier and easier for those hands and fingers to work. And it doesn't matter if you still want to move your leg. There's no spell to break. Some people have even opened their eyes, oh my God, in the middle. It doesn't affect the state of hypnosis you're in. I want you to know you can be totally comfortable through the whole thing. But if for any reason you choose, for any reason to stop it, you would. And that's okay. So that's really the whole process. You're sitting in my chair comfortably. Your fingers go yes and no. And you sometimes think you're doing it, which is all fine. You're all one being. And your mind works towards the outcome that you desire. I don't tell you what the outcome is. We'll talk about that. The outcome will be what's right for you, not decided by me. So just remember, when you're doing this hypnosis, it's you that's doing the work. Imagine I'm a personal trainer. And that doesn't mean that I do any of the work. It means I get you to do the work. And otherwise, it isn't working for you. Your body wouldn't change. Because if I lifted the weights, that's not going to happen. So like a personal trainer, I know what's good for you. And I can lead you in certain directions or ask you to do things to make it better. But you're the one that really has to do the heavy lifting. So that's it. And if you have any questions, please email me or phone me. Just ask me anything you need to know.